All right, welcome one and all. Welcome back. We are here. I am G. He is J. We are diving into this thing we call sense of shock. It's been a while, but we're back. We're gonna definitely try to keep this going weekly to keep you guys posted on what's happening in our lives, what's new, what's gaming, all things that are gaming. Really.
All things.
But it's been a interesting event on why we've been away. There's been a lot that's been going on, and we're going to get into that real soon. What we're going to do is relatively tell you what's been going on. How have you been?
I've been great. I had a birthday, so that was fun. It was exciting. Not really too much to complain about. Just living life, having fun. How have you been?
I mean, I'm great. Everything's moving. Everything's pushing. I've been, doing the stream. I've been getting things working on the, background. Giving you guys some cool content on Twitch. That's really been my heavy focus. Living life to the fullest. Enjoying this interesting inclement weather we've been having. Ups and downs left and right. First it snows. Hots and colds. We are not Katy Perry. But it has been interesting and we've survived. The madness possibly going into some good weather. Definitely hearts go out to those that have allergies this time of year. Pollen's not fun, but hopefully you're taking the proper medication to enjoy life and not feel miserable. So thank you for watching, but we're diving in to our topic of the day, which is WWE 2K22.
22.
It hit different.
It hits different.
It hit so much better than before.
Yes, it's so much better.
It's so good. It's so good. I've told you I was excited for this when it was supposed to come out on March 8th, and I played it. And we're looking at 11 days past that day. Yep. And I did the early NWO version. So therefore it gave me the deluxe, gave me the standard, gave me, 3 to 4 day early access. I did not stay up to play it that night just to be crunching because I'm not of age to be able to do that anymore. But it's really great and invigorating. And it's one of those games to where it reminds me of when I can play it and have fun and it doesn't seem like a chore. Now, the W2K20, 2K19, 2K18, 2K17 felt like chores. Just a grind session to go through doing universe, and I felt like I had to keep playing, doing the same thing one day and over again, and it just was not therapeutic, and it felt like a chore to get to the next level or get a championship or fight to become a contender. And all I wanted to do was just play a beat 'em up game, because every year it would be to where I would get the WWE 2K game that October. Because 2K came out, NBA came out September. Mm-hmm. So wrestling would come out in October. I would get that, and then that following year I'd watch WrestleMania, and then 3 months later the WWE WrestleMania would be on DVD or Blu-ray, and I'd buy that, and that would just be a consistent annual thing that I would consistently do. Now that W2K has switched up their gears and changed Ukes not being in it as much, THQ not being in it, and now that WrestleMania or your WWE Network or the pay-per-views are now on Peacock, it's just everything is just out of whack. Everything is weird. So now to have 2K22 and not want to put it down, it's just fun. It's very reminiscent to No Mercy. So it gives you the electricity of No Mercy, that feeling that you felt when you played No Mercy. That's that feeling that's there. The gameplay is a little arcadey at times, where it's a good pick up and go. You need to learn how to do things. You don't want to repetitively do the same thing over and over again, because your opponent will figure out what you're doing. But it's loads of fun. The graphics are intense. If you're not playing this on the PS5 or Series X, I don't know what it looks like. I own the PS4 version because it came with that NWO version, but I don't I don't know, and I'm scared to find out what it would look like, because when you've been on the mountaintop to see luscious graphics and the way that everyone moves, their actions, the physics, the fireworks, the lighting, the movement, everything's awesome. Visually, beautiful. I really don't know what to say. If you have a PS4 or an Xbox One, definitely pick it up, because it's going to be a fun game to play, and it'll probably go down in price November, Black Friday, because 2K always does. Actually, I feel with it coming out this March, I feel like June and July will go down in price.
Yeah.
Because normally they want more people to get it in their hands, and more people have been talking about it. There's a lot of people been talking about this game that I'm like, you a wrestling fan? You a closet wrestling fan? Like, now you want to be on the bandwagon? Nothing wrong with that. And that's what it needs to be. Bringing back previous fans, those that enjoyed your Stone Cold, your Rocks, your Andre Giant, your Hulk Hogan's, and then put them into today's light with your Seth Rollins, your Kevin Owens, your Roman Reigns. Things like that.
Yeah.
So, those are my feels on this game.
It's fantastic. Obviously I skipped 20. Did not play that one.
I think everybody skipped 20.
They should have.
2020, I meant just a year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
In general.
My brain's still trying to process that year. So, but I started back on the 2K with 18.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, I played like the SmackDown vs. Raws. I think the last one I played was 2009, maybe 2010, SmackDown vs. Raw. And then just kind of stopped, got out of wrestling, stopped playing the games and stuff for a while. Came back to it with 18 and 19. They were fun. Like you were saying, they were good. Skipped 20 once I heard all the things about it. And then obviously 2K heard the things about it, so they skipped 21. And with 22 though, it hits different. I mean, it does. It's just so much fun. I've been having a blast. Like you said, visually it is fantastic. Of course, I'm playing on the PS5 as well. It just looks incredible. Just sometimes with those entrances, when it shows the far shots, it legitimately looks like I'm watching
the product.
Yeah.
Like,
it looks like I'm just watching an episode of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or something. And it's great to see, because I've told you before, I don't know what they were doing back in 2006 or whatever, but SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 and all that, even on PS2, the graphics were ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
But this game is just, it's incredible. It is fantastic. I've had so much fun. Not even really scratched the surface of all it has to offer, and I'm so excited to just dive back in and just see what greatness is lying in there for me to uncover and find.
And with that being said, like I said, there is that standard version. There's your NWO for Life version, which is the one I have. There's the deluxe, and then there's the cross-gen digital bundle. Of course, you can get these on the PlayStation 4, PS5, Xbox One, or the Xbox Series systems that they may have. If you do the cross-gen bundle, that'll give you that duality for your PS4 and PS5, which is what I spoke about, / your Xbox One. If you buy that Xbox One version, it'll cross over to the Xbox Series consoles, just like the PS4 crossover to that PS5.
So if you want to play the game, but you're like, I might get a PS5 here soon, so I'll just wait to buy it. Or vice versa, if you have an Xbox One and you're like, well, I'm about to go buy an Xbox Series, just buy that dual entitlement one, the cross-gen, and you get both of them, and then once you get that new system, just download it, no extra charge. I think it's $10 more than the standard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you're thinking you're going to end up getting the new system, then definitely worth it.
You'll have a digital copy of the game.
Yeah, because you don't want to spend $60 on that PS4 copy or Xbox One copy and then have a birthday or something, and then you're like, oh, here's a PS5, and now you got to spend $70 on the game. So.
Which wouldn't even make any sense. No. There's a cool bonus you get for that next that cross-gen. So you get that Starcade 1996 Rey Mysterio So it's featuring his 1996 Rey Mysterio playable character, Starrcade 1996 Rey Mysterio. Ruby My Faction card. And we'll go into My Faction soon enough throughout this. But like I said, I got the NWO for Life edition. That's a digital only. And that gives you your extra stats. So when you're going into My Rise, which is your character progressing through, you get to have stats that max your attributes out to 85 right off the bat, as opposed to having a lower tier and trying to work your way up. So you have a leg up on the competition. You're going to get that the season pass. So there's various different season passes, and we'll talk about that on the next stream. Once they start to come out to give you more content, because they're saying what they all are, but at the time of this recording, there's such a stacked roster anyways. It's nice to want to have other characters like your Yokozuna and your Ronda Rousey and your Machine Gun Kelly, but right now it's more fun to enjoy the bundle that you have.
Because you already have 171 or something like that.
Bird in the bush is better than...
You got a whole bunch to choose from already.
You got a lot of birds in the hand.
Those extra ones will be nice, but plenty to work with.
So, with the My Rise is what I was speaking on. That is where you take a character, and it is best to create your character here first, and get them to how you want them to look. Be mindful of the height and the weight as well, because I think when you're in the performance center, it doesn't matter. I think you start as a cruiserweight, and then they'll eventually get you to what you want. They'll work on your character's design, work on their entrance, work on the moveset. Moveset is super important because you'll be using that a lot. You can change up the victor as well. And one thing I found out yesterday is that you can have on the stream, you can have an entrance. Like, let's say, for instance, you want Roman Reigns' song as your entrance. Well, at the victory, once you switch over to a victory tab, you can change up the design of how you want them to celebrate and everything, but you can change the song as well. And you can have that, your Bobby Lashley or your Kevin Owens, something that would, be like, yeah, I actually won the match. This is cool, instead of something slow and methodical like Roman Reigns. So, as in My Rise, you have 10 slots? You have 10 slots to choose from, and I think it's wise to do that because they allow you to be a man or a woman.
For the first time ever.
For the first time.
First time ever.
You can be man or woman to progress through a storyline of sorts to become the greatest of all time, a Hall of Famer in the WWE.
And it's worth it to do both, at least one time through, because they individualized the stories. So it's not, obviously, like, if you're the female character, you're not gonna go fight male characters, but it's not the same storylines just swapped out with the male roster for the female roster. They each have their own individual storylines in different ways. They can go, stories they can tell, things you can do. So it's definitely worth it to play both, just so you can really see what all they've done, because they really overhauled the My Rise with this inclusion of the female superstar storyline.
I feel like they've done a female superstar story in 2K20. I want to say...
No one cares about 2K20.
They don't, I'm sorry. So this is the first time it actually matters, so we'll go for that. So with that being said, you start off in the Performance Center. You get things going. You start to decide if you want to be friendly towards the local competitors and the Performance Center, or if you want to be just a complete jerk. It's up to you. It really matters throughout this game whether you become a heel, which is the bad guy, if you will. Yeah. Or if you want to be, a good guy, face, and, just do what's right and try to be friendly to everybody and work your way up. And they'd be like, after a long career, they'd be like, he was a nice guy or she was a nice gal, and they were always nice to me and we had good matches. Or if you're just like, I'm just trying to get to the top as fast as I can, stepping on everybody's neck, stepping on your throat, spin you over, step on your neck. I'm trying to get to the top. And you have your performers that are training you. With the men's, it'll be the Road Dogg, Jesse James, and you have the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
And a very important, very cool aspect, actual voiceovers.
Yes, so in the previous games, you would have your story, and you would have the characters, they would talk during the cutscenes, and then it would go to a freeze of the character, and they would just kind of just stand there and kind of move a little bit, but you have to read everything. There was no voiceover at all, so you're just sitting there enjoying it, like, okay, cool, click, 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 let's get to the match. This time, during those stills, it's just seamless of talking, and your character talks back as well, and their decisions to make. The way that social media actually works now is a lot of performers actually utilize the Twitter and the Instagram. So on this game, they incorporated social media in the My DMs as well to have a Twitter mindset, so that if there's somebody that's kind of watching you, they're going to say something on Twitter, and then your character pretty much respond back as well, and that banter goes back and forth. That actually cultivates a match. So it's like a mini promo, retort back and forth before you actually start the match. Or you could be like, I don't even want to do this match. You're not even worth my time. So with that, you have the Performance Center with the men's, and then with the women's, you have Shawn Michaels and the Glamazon Beth Phoenix. Seeing that she was a powerful women's champion, Divas champion. She wasn't women's champion. She was Divas champion. Married to the Rated R superstar Edge. And you have to where she's, a big role in NXT, mostly the announcers team. And she's now a Hall of Famer as well. And so she's guiding the women along as well to greatness. And then you progress to whatever show you want to go to after that, which is really nice. And then there's more in between that, so you can choose however you want. But I thought that it's best because, like in No Mercy, we'll journey down that rabbit hole real quick. And WWF No Mercy, you had the story mode, and you had different decisions you could make, and some of those decisions could lead down a bad rabbit hole, or some could transition to another charted rabbit hole as well. So it's nice that was kind of the first game that branched off. That's why a lot of people love No Mercy. This one is kind of giving you that as well, but you can still trickle back and forth to be good or bad in certain instances. Somebody will ask you to do something, and you can choose to do that match, and you'll know right off the bat. There's a little icon that shows a red little frowny angry face or a green little happy face that'll be like, yeah, you're doing something good if you succeed in this match. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I really, 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 really enjoy My Rise. I've won several championships across all three brands, and there's just a couple that are missing that I need to grasp. But other than that, it's been fun. I do not like the gameplay of, and this is my nitpick, and because I'm doing My Rise, I do not like the Royal Rumble, and I do not like Money in the Bank. Now we're gonna transition to Royal Rumble first and say why. Because in the beautiful game we call SmackDown versus Raw 2006 and 2007, you had a circular marker, and you could look at whose color is what. So if Mario is red, and then Link is blue, and then Sephiroth is black, I could look at them and I can choose if it's red, blue, or black, whoever I'm looking at. This one is a red circle under you with a red arrow looking at whoever, but it doesn't dictate exactly who they are. It doesn't even give out a name as well. So you could be beating up Samoa Joe, and then Roman Reigns is behind you, and you try to switch over, but because the arrow doesn't pick up Roman behind you, he'll easily knock you out. So there's that. Also, if you throw somebody over the rope, and just like Shawn Michaels in 1995 when he hit one foot on the bottom floor but didn't get the other foot touching because two feet have to touch the ground.
Both feet have to touch.
Both. You go to hit them and it'll knock them out. If you're just hanging on the rope after hitting them, somebody else can come over and boot you or clothesline you and completely knock you out of the match. And that animation's just too quick, and there's no way to reverse it. there's no way, because most things, if you're posted up kind of near the ropes and somebody's running at you, you can easily
keep them entertained for a
duck. You can easily duck, and therefore knock them out of the ring because they go at full speed, or you could hold the rope down to bring them to elimination just by doing a reversal. Now, that game is loads of fun. Now I'm going to transition into Rey's Mysterio's Showcase. Showcase is really cool because it shows a true story of Rey Mysterio. Not really a lot of his origins, but where his rise became into the WCW going into WWE. Because the 619 your way to superstardom and celebrate pivotal moments in Rey Mysterio's iconic career in 2K Showcase. Booyakah. Which is really cool. Because you start off in the Halloween Havoc against Eddie Guerrero, which is really, really fun. You start off as a small little Rey Mysterio, and you're battling against the prior to Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero, before he became really prominent. And it was Mask versus the Cruiserweight Championship. And if you, as Rey Mysterio, lose, then you would lose your mask at the same time. But if you win and beat Eddie Guerrero, then you'll win the Cruiserweight Championship and maintain your pride, which is really nice. There's a lot on the line, and there is so much that means the world to the luchadors by having their mask and not being unmasked. And there were sometimes there would be unmasked actions and matches that they would have, and that would kind of be the end of their career because they really couldn't wrestle without having their mask, because it's most like a disgrace. So transition to that, you go into them fighting a couple of years later at WrestleMania 21, which is really cool, seeing them on a big stage that we know of, WrestleMania 21. And there are several others as well that he does. So throughout this 2K showcase, you would have Rey Mysterio actually talking as an interview almost. Speaking on things that happened before the match, what led up to that match. And then while you're playing the match, there would be some type of like music that plays. And I thought you could turn it off, but apparently you can't turn it off. So as you're going through it, there's objectives that you need to do as well. Like either whip this guy into the turnbuckle or attack him so many times. And then it would transition into a cinematic, which is like actual video. Then it would go back into like a CG, so computer generated, where it's showing, it looks like gameplay, but you're not actually playing it yet. It's feeling out before it goes into, hey, you can play the game. So I like that transition from one thing to another, and it's just seamless, back and forth, back and forth. So it feels like you're enjoying the match, you're playing it as well, but really enjoying it and feeling involved into the match because it's keeping you entertained because so many things are happening. So it shows multiple different clues and great things that are happening with the Rey Mysterio. And so I really, really, really enjoyed that. Now, you do have the My GM mode, and that's relatively giving you an idea of what it's like to be the boss. Like, everybody wants to be a boss from one time or another. And by being a boss, by being the GM, you are taking over either Raw, and the other person's taking over SmackDown. And with that, you have so much money that you need to have, and you need to make your superstars super happy. And if you don't make them happy, they could jump ship to the other brand. And personally, I don't want everybody jumping ship from my brand. I want to have legends. I want to have great matches. I want as many fans as possible. So all the fans that are watching this, all the superstars that are playing, or all the superstars that are participating in my brand, they're really enjoying exactly what I have to offer. So I'm stealing more and more fans from the other brand and possibly other superstars as well to my brand, to where I become the superior brand to that. So
just the My GM.
This is the My GM.
So much fun. So much fun. Yeah, and trying to establish yourself as the best GM and have the best brand. You may have covered this, I'm not sure. You choose almost kind of like a persona or whatever, so to speak. And you can either kind of go like the Stephanie McMahon route, the Shane route, Adam Pearce route. And then each specific persona that you could choose from, each has their own individual ability that they could do. So like Stephanie McMahon, if you kind of go her route, she has the McMahon effect, to where if you play her card, all of your revenue for that week doubles. Or you can, I think it's Adam Pearce's maybe? I think his is any potential rivalries you have in a fight that week. It'll like bump up their rivalry stat by like 1 or something like that. And then each individual show, could you get to choose, do you want SmackDown, Raw, NXT, or NXT UK? Have you already covered this?
No, keep going.
Okay. They each have their own, each show has their own kind of unique ability that they can do as well. SmackDown, I think it's 6 popularity to your superstars. Raw can choose to where it picks 3 superstars from another brand that cannot be put into a card that week to try to kind of sabotage and stuff like that. So it really gives you full control over everything, really.
More of an RPG element to it.
Yeah, and then when you're not only do you just set up, your show with your matches and promos and whatnot, but then you can go further into the logistics of it, and you can choose where you want your arena to be, and it'll show you it holds this many people, and the tickets for this place cost this much. So then you can kind of gauge like, okay, well, if I'm selling 15,000 seats for $10 a ticket, because the first place you can choose from is just like a high school gym, and then other arenas and stuff are unlocked the further you go into the MyGM experience.
Yeah.
And so you start off, and each arena can cost you a different amount of money. The high school gym's always free, so you don't have to pay to book that, but then you can, once you unlock it, you can pay $10,000 to go into a bigger stadium to have more attendance, and the tickets cost more. So you make more revenue through tickets. You can choose how you want to spend your money on advertising to reach more fans, to bring them into your show and steal them from the other
brands.
Absolutely. So, and then also as well, Triple H gives you commissioner goals every week, whether he wants you to have a rivalry match or wants to have you schedule a match where someone runs in to sabotage a match for someone else and things like that. So it's really, you're limited to your creativity with it.
And as long as you're making really good matches, like if you're having your main event to be a steel cage match or a triple threat ladder match as well, keeping it entertaining, keeping a nice little stipulation to make people want to tune in, make people want to be like, oh, I like what they're doing over there, I want to support that, then you're going to see the profits.
The profits and the ratings. And with that, though, too, you also have to watch that, because when you do more strenuous style matches, it costs more of your superstar stamina, and of course if that gets too low, they can get injured, and then if they're injured, you can't book them, and then you have to go try to either pick up a free agent or you're just down a superstar. So you want to make it entertaining, but you also got to make sure, give your superstars time to rest. Don't put them in 8 straight Hell in a Cell matches, because then you're just gonna kill them, and then that's no good.
And 16 Extreme Rule matches. It's like, I gotta get hit by kendo stick again. Oh my gosh, I bled 15 times already.
But no, it's a lot of fun. I want to get back into it some more and just totally just let loose and have. I've already been having fun with that mode. I'm ready to have some more fun with it. They did really good on it, because it's the first time it's been back since
19?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 2019. Because 2020 is when WWE Battlegrounds came out. So, they told us that 2K22 was getting delayed last year to come out for March, which sounded about the same time as WrestleMania. So it gave them ample amount of time to just really dive into the test lab and find out the good and the bad and what they can keep and what they need to just discard. There are several hiccups that are in this game that I spoke on. when it came to the Royal Rumble. But I mean, overall, I advise everybody to dive into this. I feel it's a good party game. You definitely want to get somebody to understand the controls. In any game, really, you want to get them to understand the controls, just so they can feel like they're part of it. Because sometimes some people want to watch, and then other time they're like, "That looks like fun. I would like to play." And you're like, "Cool. This is how you play as a controller," and then go from there. And that's why the Creation Suite is so cool, because there's a lot to it. I feel like there's some things that are missing, but then there's some things that they added to make it cool. So, for instance, Kane, for prime example, if you're making like a variant of Kane, who is the big red monster, big red machine, he has his black glove in his right hand, so he can do his choke slam. He doesn't have anything but maybe like some tape around his fingers and everything. So in this one, and in previous games, you'd have a glove and it'd be on both hands, and you're just like, oh, cool. I don't want that. I just want to have one in one hand and then like maybe tape or nothing on this hand. In this one, when you jazz up the right hand and then you work on the left hand, you can either copy exactly what you did on the right hand, or you can completely make it different than the alternative part, which is really nice. There is that creation design suite as well. So if you make something on a computer, you can upload it to the WWE 2K creation, and then you can download it onto your console. Whether it doesn't matter if it's PlayStation 4, PS5, Xbox Series systems, or Xbox One, you can easily put it over, because there was several previous games. I think it was 2008, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, that really did that online transferring things over to where you could download it, but it was only on 360, and you could download something on PS3. So if you had a wrestler in 2008 on PS3, you could not get that created character pulled over to the Xbox 360. So now it's mostly all over the place, and then people can just download left and right. I really like it. It's really cool. They've done so much. There was one thing I thought they were going to do, which was Great Own Championship belt, which I think that maybe, that is on there. The belt is on there, but it's like they have so many belts. It's like, what would I really want to make? I really don't know. There was Create Your Taunt that they had back in the day, but then I felt like that was a little too weird, because you would have your guy just doing all kinds of crazy poses just to do a taunt. That would last forever, and then you get hit and it just breaks up the animation, which could possibly cause the glitch in the system. But have you enjoyed the Creation Suite?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much you can do. Like each individual aspect of it, if you want to do something to your hands, or the boots or shoes you want to wear, like there's the pants you want to wear, or shorts, whatever. There's so many different options available in each category, to where sometimes it's like, what do I want my guy to look like? Because I want him to look like this, but now this looks cool, and it's just so many cool different things you can do, and then
the textures are nice too.
The textures
are nice. You have like the mic, so like on camera you can see it. This is like a fabric, a nice little cushion cotton, and then this is the metal right here. Like once you choose to change up that as well, you can change it, and it shows in the entrance as well. If you want to glow, you can have that. So those features look nice as well. Yeah,
and then I've always loved too that if you have, like, if you put a pair of shorts on or something, and not like something like John Cena or Brock Lesnar might wear, the trunks, I think is what they call them, that can have different designs. I like that. It's got, if you want to change the color, it's got like 4 colors. And so like color 1 will be the lettering on the shorts. Color 2 is the actual color of the shorts. Color 3 is the drawstring on the shorts. So it's just, you can customize every little thing to be the way you want it to. And then, like you just said, you can change the color. But then if you're like, there's just something, that color is almost there, you can change the material of it, and you can say, well, I kind of want it to have a more shiny look to it. You can put on like a metallic style material, and it'll like be shiny and pop more than it would if you just left it the default fabric. So they let you do so much cool stuff on the creation suite, and then like you were saying, uploading it and stuff. And if you can get on there, and if you see something someone else made that you think looks really cool, of course, the community creations are. They've been there for a while, you know.
These people need to get paid.
They do. Some people are a little upset the Fiend ain't in the game.
But you can download it.
Then someone's like, hey, look what I just made. And if you like it, you can download it. And it's 100% free. I mean, it's just...
As long as you have a online subscription.
Correct. But it's not any additional cost, which is so nice because people can... either create a wrestler that's not in the game. You know, people have done CM Punk and stuff before. They can do that. They can make alternate or like past attires of wrestlers. I know, like on 2K18 or 19, I saw like a bunch of different Seth Rollins from just different gears and stuff that he wore. So you can download those to have them come out in different attires and things like that. So the creation suite's just. It's top notch. It really is. It's so good. So good.
How does their creation suite compare to NBA 2K?
So it's better, but I would potentially maybe argue in the sense that, or not argue, but there's not as much detail into something you need to customize in 2K. You're just making a basketball player, so.
Yeah.
They're wearing an NBA uniform, so like, you can't really customize that. But as far as if you were just talking about the body as opposed to the attire and stuff, 2K's is better because to my WWE 2K's is better because to my knowledge in NBA's, you can't do stuff like in WWE where you can put scars on their body, or you can do I saw when I was making my character for my Rise, you can like add to where their veins are like just bulging out of their body, looking like John Cena in the chest and the arms, where the veins are just looking like rivers running down his arms. And you can do different scars and things like that. So yeah, they definitely have. WWE would have a step over NBA in that regard, but that's also probably because people in NBA just don't care. They're just like, I just want to make my guy and
go for it. Yeah, okay.
I just want to be 99 overall. I don't care.
That's the goal. But
one of the biggest things of wrestling, you know, real world and video game, you know, one of the biggest things about wrestling is the look.
Yeah.
Like if you don't look cool, or you know. If you just don't have, you know, that swag factor, like, you ain't making it. You ain't going to be big time, you know? Not everybody can be John Cena and wear cargo pants, okay? Right. That's one in a million right there. Right. But but wrestling, you know, it's the look. You know, part of it's the look and all that, so you definitely got to go all out in wrestling to do that, and they allow you to. They don't pull any
punches.
They don't pull any punches. They're just like, here it is. Go for it.
We give you the tools, so you go right ahead. So yeah, I mean, that's relatively all that I have to say about WWE 2K22. I would definitely advise everyone to pick it up and give it a go.
It lives up to the hype.
It does. I think one thing I would like to say, I wish that WWE 2K22 was on Game Pass day one, because a lot of people I know, just like you and myself and a couple other people I know, because I know myself, that PlayStation is the place that a lot of people play WWE 2K games. There's just a small niche of people that I believe played on the Xbox, and I feel that those that played on 360, whoever played on the Xbox One, I know 2K20 turned a lot of people off. Feel this would bring them back, because they'd be like, all right, let me see what this game looks like. Let me see what the hype is all about. The reviews are, you know, sounding okay. Let me go ahead and jump into it. Granted, it would have been on Friday. Was that the 11th?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they would have dove into that on the 11th, and you would have had such a rise of people either really enjoying it or just like, hey, I got to try it, I didn't care for it, cool, I can see what these guys are saying, there's this, it's just not my cup of tea. I think it's really good for anyone that has or is continuing to be a wrestling fan. It's a great way to dive into it. And, you know, it's been a number 2 title for a seller past couple weeks now. So it's been doing really well for itself. And it's one of those things where I want people to just try it, get a feel of it, and understand. And we've given you our true, because we'll let you know what's trash. we'll let you know exactly what's trash. But, you know, right now, that does it for this stream right here, for this content. We will definitely be back next week. We have a special guest, the B. He will be here. We've got an interesting topic to talk about as well, so definitely stay tuned. We advise you, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Go ahead and put some comments in that comment section and share this with your friends. Let them know we're here. And we're not going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. And this is our view of, you know, our playthrough, our hands-on for the WWE 2K22. There's so many more games that have been announced and others that we don't know, which will be this summer at E3 that they will announce, or even at the Games Fest, Summer's Games Fest, that they'll announce will be coming out later this year. So we have a lot of hands-on. I know that next week we got that Kirby coming out, so I get my hands on that on next Friday and get a feel of that. I know that Tiny Tina's it's coming out, but I won't be playing that. I will look into it, but Kirby's like the mainstay, the main go-to. So we'll give you some of that Nintendo Swatch. And Tunic came out on the 16th, so I'll be talking about that. I'm going to try to stream that as well on my channel. Really beautiful little fox that's just painted in the world of Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Really good Xbox exclusive game, so I'm going to give you some thoughts and ideas about that. Until then, thank you very much. See you. Peace.